This was such a, how would I word it? This was such an intense, anxious, stressful, just so many words. Like, hey dolls, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I go by China Doll. Thanks for coming back. So as you could tell by the video, as you could tell by the title of the video, today's story time is going to be a bit intense. Now, this was such a, how would I word it? This was such an intense, anxious, stressful, just so many words. Like, I was young. I was a first-time parent. I was, just keep watching and find out. So I was 16 when I had gotten pregnant, and I will link the video down below about my story, 16 and pregnant. I'm thinking of redoing it and actually putting that one on private because I'm sorry you guys, the mic volume on my old phone would fluctuate. It would go low and high, and I don't recall knowing why. I think it was the mic on my phone. My toddler probably drooled on it or sucked on it. And you guys, I'm sorry if I look a little bit greasy or shiny. I just washed my face and moisturized and everything. So now let's get into it. Dun, 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 dun. So I was 16 and I had gotten pregnant, and it was, I think, halfway through, I forget when, it was such a long time ago. She is now 10 and a half. They ask you if you want to test to see if there's anything wrong with your baby. He said you don't have to do it, but I suggest that you do it because you're so young. I thought, okay. But at the time I was thinking, you know what, no matter what, I'll deal with it. I have a good support system. I could do it. And the test results came back, and it was my worst nightmare. She had a very high chance of being Down syndrome. I forget, it was over the 80 percentile, but it was really high. And also because I was so young, I was only 16. So then when my test results came back and they said that that was the only thing wrong with her, was that everything was fine except for that Down syndrome high percentile, and it had to do with her chromosomes. She had an extra chromosome, which usually has something to do with Down syndrome. I was 16, I was young, I was scared, I cried, I was so, I wouldn't say sad, because I knew no matter what that I would still love her, I would still take care of her. She's my child, she grew in my stomach. And it was funny because when the doctor had told me, and this is Dr. Anasanya, you guys, and I know some of you guys have had him for a doctor while pregnant and did not like him. I didn't like him either. And because this one time we were talking about me having to go to Saskatoon, I got a needle this big into my stomach just to get the amniotic fluid around Kalia. I had 4 wands around my belly, making sure that the needle didn't poke her. It was so nerve-wracking. I must have went to Saskatoon 4 times. So before I started going to Saskatoon, the doctor tells me, he's like, so there's options that you have. And I said, options for what? And he said, for your child. And here's some of the options. And he slid a paper towards me. And on that paper, it had adoption and like a bunch of other stuff.
Hi guys. Hi guys.
You have a little bit of lip gloss on your nose. Oh.
Hi.
Sit like this. So should I finish telling my story? You're gonna sit and be good and listen? Okay. So on the list it had adoption and all this other stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh. I said, are you kidding me? That no matter what, I would still take care and love my child. I don't know why you were giving me this paper when we talked about this, and I told you that no matter what, I would love her and do my research and educate myself on what if she was Down syndrome. And he's like, well, I'm just telling you because there have been times where the baby, just 2 weeks before the due date, the mothers have started filling out adoption papers and have done adoption last minute. Like even when their child is born, they have made the decision to do adoption. And that just broke my heart. I just started crying in the office, and he's like, I don't mean to upset you. He's like, I just want to let you know that there are options, and not to feel, what was the word he said? Not to feel like ashamed, but not that word, a different word for it. Are you going? You can't dig around in Mama's makeup room. She's like, are you looking up on my shelves? No. Down. Go find the lip gloss I gave you, please. Go find it. Get out of here. So my fourth and last meeting in Saskatoon, my parents had come with me, and it was very stressful and nerve-wracking, and to say the least, I left stressed. It was a month before she was born that we had our last meeting up there about stuff about her. They were educating me on Down syndrome and how to take care of a Down syndrome child at home. I was Googling, researching how to take care of a Down syndrome baby, child. How long do they live? Oh my God, it makes me want to go. My daughter, I love her so much. She's so special. So special. Anyways, I love her. She's amazing. We had just, quick story, sorry. We had just moved. Otherwise, I would show you all of her report cards because I've kept them all because it's just amazing. Anyways, back to that. She was born a month after, and they said they were going to call me with her results because it was taking a while. I was so stressed out. All of a sudden, I go into labor, and still I didn't get a call. I was stressed out thinking, is she going to be Down syndrome or not? And I went into labor trying to have an open mind. Mind you, it was hard for me. I had just turned 17 in December, and it is now the beginning of February. I had my daughter on a Friday the 13th in February of 2009. She came out 8 pounds, 11 ounces, beautiful as ever. Perfect little girl. She looked to me, to everybody, like she was not Down syndrome. And I mean, it was a bit of relief, you know, like, because I thought, like, it's not going to be as hard, because obviously taking care of with a child with DS is harder than taking care of a child that does not have DS. So to me, I was a bit happy, but I was also upset. Then, 3 days later, when we were at home, who calls? The doctor. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious right now? I just run into them. I was like, just kidding. But I was like, you know what? I said I went through labor and the last month of my pregnancy, stressed out, not knowing what I was in for. But I still appreciate you calling. She was born 2 weeks earlier than her due date, so I kind of rang into them for absolutely nothing. But they should know that you could have your baby before or after the due date, but still. Anyways, our conversation was amazing. He's like, I've never really seen this before. He said, this is so rare. He's like, that's actually not a Down syndrome chromosome. It's chromosome number... Oh, he told me a number, and it was in the 20s, and it was from the mom. Oh, it wasn't. It was from me anyways, and it has the opposite effect. He said she's going to be really, really smart. And I was like, what? Like, what? I've never heard of this before. Like, I never heard of this before. And he's like, yeah, it's kind of rare. I've never really heard of... Because there's only a certain amount of chromosomes that a child should have from each parent. And I guess I kind of got worse and threw extra one in. And that sometimes when that happens with the parents, like say if the dad threw extra chromosome or the mom threw extra chromosome in, and depends on which chromosome, the child, that's how things become, like, I guess, how would the word be, like, deformed or, Down syndrome and stuff like that. So I was just amazed. And then school, well, no, I shouldn't say school rolls around, but like her just like growing up and learning so fast. She potty trained herself at 2. Like, oh, it was just so amazing. She amazes me. And then school comes around and she's getting straight A's, you guys, straight A's. Once I find those report cards, they're either out at my mom's or they're in my father-in-law's storage room still, and we still have to get a few boxes from each places. So I really want to show those, and I'm gonna come back and be like, boom, look at these, they're all A pluses. They're all A pluses anyway. It's the opposite effect. Okay. Can I finish?
No.
Okay.
Get up. I'm gonna apologize.
So it was the opposite effect, and I was just like so amazed. And when all this started happening with her A's all the time, and her teachers telling me like she's so smart, she does not like working in groups, she'd rather work alone, she gets the job done fast, and she's always ahead. And I'm like, wow, like every school meeting with the teachers are so amazing. Her report cards are so amazing. They have always nothing but good stuff to say about her, and it just makes me so happy. So happy. Kalia!
What?
Come here, my baby genius!
Okay.
So I think there's supposed to be 24 chromosomes, and then she has 25. So this is the star of the video. Or just kidding. Okay, Valley, chill out. This is my Kalia May Faith. Okay, this is what Valley does. When she's sitting somewhere, she'll pretend that Kalia's sat on her. But as you guys saw, Valley was way over there and Kalia come and sat on my chair. So, okay. Just kidding, babe. Just dramatic. You see how light I popped out? Oh my god! That's what she does. She gets hella mad. Hey, Kalia, you're not even crying. Come here. Just kidding. So, Kalia is 10 and a half. Say, hey guys, what's poppin'? And she now has 7 subscribers. That's a lot more than what you had. She had 2 or 3, I think, hey?
I had too.
Yeah, and then I started linking it in my videos and people started following her or subscribing to her. So that really means a lot to me and her. We thank you so much for that. Let's connect it. Oh yeah, like anyways, my little genius, I thought I'd introduce you guys to her at the end of this video because she was playing
The game.
she was playing the PlayStation. Kids, just kidding. But we are gonna dye her hair before school next week.
So stay tuned for that vlog
on her channel. So thanks for watching, guys, and we appreciate all the love and support. And she always tells everybody this story, so everybody that we know or that's close to us, she always tells them, you know, I have an extra chromosome. Yeah, I'm a genius. Just kidding. No, she doesn't say that, but she's like always so excited to tell the story about her extra chromosome. So that's the story of the doctors predicting that my daughter was going to be Down syndrome, but turned out to be very smart. Thanks for watching, guys.